This isn't clickbait. I've been investing in real estate over 27 years and I've flipped thousands of properties. I've sold to hedge funds. I've competed with Wall Street. I've helped renters become owners, and I've survived more market cycles than I can count. And I've never seen a shift this big. Right now, tech, money, regulations, and debt, they're all rewriting the rules of real estate investing. And if you're not paying attention, you will be locked out. But if you understand what's coming, you'll never be broke again. Let me show you what's changing, how it affects you, and how to capitalize on it. Wall Street is buying the American dream. Institutional investors, they aren't just dabbling in real estate, they're taking over. In 2023, hedge fund and other institutional buyers were buying 1 in 14 homes that came on the market. And in hotspots like Atlanta, Charlotte, even Jacksonville, Florida, it was closer to 1 in 5. Invitation Homes owns more than 80,000 single-family homes. And BlackRock, they have over $60 billion invested in single-family homes. Those guys aren't house flippers. They're permanent landlords. And they don't care what the ARV is or what Zillow says. What they care about is cash flow and long-term holding. They waive inspections, they close fast, and they pay all cash. I've got dealings with these guys directly. I've bid against BlackRock. I've definitely gone up against Invitation Homes. Hell, I thought they were one and the same. I was in the Invitation Homes office back in 2010 or 2011. They had a 40-foot sign across their office, a giant office in Miami, Florida, and the sign simply said, "Buy everything." And baby, that's what they went about doing. So they came into the foreclosure sale where I had had the run of it for years and years. We ran the show there, and I bought 2 houses a week forever, for as long as I could remember. These guys showed up and they started paying through the nose. We thought they were completely insane. I personally, they wouldn't know this, but I cost them hundreds of thousands of dollars, probably millions of dollars, bidding against them in a futile attempt to try and compete with them, because no matter what I did, they'd just bid $1 more. There was nothing I could do. If they wanted it, they were going to get it. I don't remember ever one time outbidding them, and I probably bid on them at least hundreds and hundreds. I would venture to say probably more than 1,000 times. So they created their own market. They weren't wrong. They were just early. And they bought all that stuff in 2010. They overpaid for it, but now they look like geniuses because it's all worth 5 or 6 times more than it was when they bought it back then. So look, I'm telling you that most local investors, you're not going to be able to compete with them if you're bidding against them on the MLS, or if they show up to an auction that you're at. They're going to get it. But that's the trap. They only buy what's public. They're not going to dig deep. They can't do handshake deals with tired landlords. They're not going to get creative and do seller financing. They're not going to walk the pre-foreclosure lists and knock on doors and try and get people out of foreclosure and save the day. That's where we win, the local real estate investor. If you're tired of getting beat by Wall Street, stop playing their games. Let's move to where they aren't. This is what it looked like for me back when I was bidding against them directly at the foreclosure sale. We knew that they weren't going to buy the ugly stuff that really needed a lot of investment. So if it was distressed and needed the big value add, we still had a chance to buy those properties. They were only buying the new stuff that was in relatively good condition because they just wanted to put a renter in there at 2 times the local market rent and hold on to the thing forever. We still had an advantage where we were buying wood-framed houses that needed work, or we were buying anything that was older than like built in 2000. They would only buy the new stuff. They were limited, but when they were on it, they got it. So we had to go where they weren't. And we had to bid on the older stuff. We had to bid on the stuff that was a little bit more ugly. We had to bid on the wood frame stuff. The things that needed the work, that's where we could win. And that's where you can still win today. So this is where it's going to lead. America is becoming a renter nation. And actually it already is. The renter nation is real and it's growing. Let's be real. Buying a home right now is no longer an option for millions of people. And it's not because they're lazy, it's because the system is stacked against them. Did you know that median home prices in the United States of America is over $430,000? That means if you're getting out of college today, say you got $100,000 in debt to get that sweet degree that's gonna save your life, man, you're so far behind the 8 ball. Your starter home is going to cost you nearly $500,000 and you've still got that debt to pay off. You're in bad shape, brother. Stack that on top of average interest rates across the U.S. is 6.9 to like almost 8%. And the markets that we invest in, Florida and Puerto Rico, We see homeowners insurance have creeped up 50% to sometimes as much as 150 or even 200% if you live on the coast where a recent hurricane has gone past. And while all of this massive inflation in housing prices has hit us, what hasn't crept up? That's right, your wages haven't. Wages have increased only about 5% over the same time that we've seen housing prices go up hundreds of percent. It's so bad that people have to adjust the rent-to-income ratio just to be able to get into a house. And right now, the ratio that's currently being used is at least 40% of your revenue, of your monthly income. 40% of it at least is going to go towards housing. Look, over the last few years since COVID, I've seen rents in neighborhoods go from $1,000 to $2,000 where basically nothing has changed. This isn't just inflation. This is an engineered shift to push people out of homeownership and into lifetime renting. In my personal experience with this, we bought a whole bunch of properties in Florida, all across the state really, during that 2012 time when the market was crazy and we could buy things super cheap. We kept them as rental properties and we were renting them for $600, $700, $800 a month. And maybe rents over a long period of time up till 2020 had creeped up to $1,100 or $1,200 a month. And then fast forward to today, it's 2025, and we've got renters that have been with us for years and years where we haven't adjusted the rents on them. When they move out, we go in and do a turn on the house, and we're able to increase rents up by double. So they were renting for $1,200 and they move out, and we go out and rent it for $2,400. Guys, it's almost embarrassing to have to do that, but the truth is all of the costs associated with owning those houses has also skyrocketed. So people get mad at me when I say that I'm going to raise the rents because you were making money when it was $1,200 a month. And yeah, if we had a really great tenant that we knew and we liked and we cared about and we were trying to get them to become homeowner, we would let them stay in our homes for a long period of time until they became a homeowner. But when we're going back on the market now in real time, we're going to raise it up to close to market rents. Not always all the way up to market rents, but we have to in order to keep our business going because roofs have gotten more expensive, insurance has gotten more expensive, repairs have gotten more expensive. A service call in 2020 for the plumber to go out would cost me $75 to $150 depending on how long he was there and what he needed to do. Now that same call, it's $400 for him to show up to diagnose the problem, and then it's going to be extra for him to be there all day. That's just the way the world has gone. Things have gone crazy. But I don't want to just be sitting here singing doom and gloom and telling you that you're never going to be able to own a house and that the world is going to fall on you and act like some Chicken Little. That's not me, guys. You know we've got a solution and we believe there's a better way. If you want to talk opportunity, what we've seen and what we've done is helping renters become owners has been highly profitable for us as real estate investors. Plus, we can feel good about ourselves. And we've got multiple ways that we go about doing that. So we will often talk to our renters who have been with us a while, offer them the opportunity to become a homeowner, and then we'll even finance the property for them. So we'll do things like lease options, contract for deeds, seller financing in some cases. And there are other things out there. There's things called equity share agreements. I've never invested that way or I've never done that, but I think that's a great way that you could turn a renter into a homeowner. This has been part of our business model to turn renters into homeowners for as long as I can remember. We've done it in Florida, we've done it for years now in Puerto Rico, and we're about to buy 40 or 50 houses in Monroe, Louisiana, and we're gonna do it there too. Here's another way that real estate is changing in real time, and I'm talking right now and rapid. AI and technology is going to replace old school investors like me. Now, let me tell you something that's a little bit uncomfortable. If you're doing this business manual, and I'm talking about myself here, you're already behind. ChatGPT can do things like draft letters to sellers, analyze your deal, push out repair estimates, and draft contracts on the fly in seconds. Here's another one that we love, the CRM Go High Level. And by the way, this is included in our premium group, Apex, for free. It's a $500 value, mind you. So what's High Level do? It can automate your email lists, automated follow-ups with sellers or buyers, lead nurturing, obviously text, email, voicemail drops, they say, or they claim even full closings. And there's other tools out there that are scraping data in real time right off of the county site. They're analyzing comps for you and can generate ARVs and renovation budgets in a second. Based off of photos, guys. Are you kidding me? We used to have templates for everything. So we had contracts that we would handwrite before we would send an offer. Now we just use a simple letter of intent that can be a text message or an email. And then once we've got an agreement, I ask ChatGPT to spin up a contract, and then I email that bad boy off, and we're in business. My team no longer has to chase leads. We put them in Go High Level. It does all of the follow-up. It's better than that. Here's a real example that I'm going through right now. I'm trying to learn a market in Monroe, Louisiana, because I'm buying 40 houses there, and I thought I had the deal of a lifetime. I put in, it was actually 49 houses at the time that we first started out. I put in all of the addresses into ChatGPT. I had it give me a report. It told me things like assessed value. It told me what the market rents were for that area. It told me what the resale values were in that area. So I was armed with all of that when I showed up to look at these houses physically. And hell, if I had had somebody take some pictures, I could have probably put those into ChatGPT, and it could have given me a renovation estimate. It is amazing. And if you're not using it, you're getting left behind. I literally use ChatGPT every single day to analyze real estate deals. I'm not saying AI will replace you. I'm saying that somebody that knows how to use it will. Here's another area where we're seeing real estate investing change in real time. The debt bubble. It's a ticking time bomb. And here's what nobody on YouTube is talking about. There is $1.5 trillion in debt in commercial and multifamily loans maturing by 2026. And most of those loans were written when rates were like 3 to 4%. And now they're adjusting up to the higher rate. Today, you're looking at 7 to 9%. More than double. In Q1 of 2024, over 18% of all commercial real estate loans are in distress. That's a year ago. That's offices, multifamilies, retail properties, and even apartment complexes are defaulting nationwide in record numbers, especially in those cities that have overbuilt. These properties will no longer cash flow as the rates adjust. And think about trying to refinance this thing where you were barely making it cash flow when the loan was 4%, and now you got to pay 9%. How the hell do you make that work? These owners, they've got three options. They're going to sell at a discount, meaning a loss. They could renegotiate the loan if it's a seller finance deal, maybe. So how are we using this in real time? We're looking at these places where people are in default, and they're going to retrade, and they're going to trade at a lower level than they did a few years ago. And we know that interest rates are going to adjust. So we're currently, right now, we're looking at buying apartment complexes all over Central Florida, on the island of Puerto Rico, and other places. And anytime we can find something where we can come in and make a cash offer and have it cash flow, knowing that when interest rates come down, we're going to be able to refinance and pull our money out. We're seeing that as a win. So that's something that we're doing in real time right now today, and you could take advantage of this same thing. And while I'm already looking at them, the truth is we're going to see a flood of these properties come on the market, and they're going to trade lower than they did a few years ago. And you don't have to buy a skyscraper to profit from it. Smaller portfolios, mixed-use buildings, and anything with some hair on it with lots of upside. 2009 made a new generation of millionaires. And right now, 2025, it looks like that could happen again if you're ready to move. The rules are changing, and they're changing fast. And guys, they're not changing in your favor. Let's talk about the part that nobody likes. The big bad wolf himself, the government. They're changing the rules faster than you can buy a duplex. Airbnb bans in New York, Honolulu, Dallas, and maybe even parts of Puerto Rico. You're seeing rent control expansion in California and New York. Basically, all the blue states seem to be in love with rent control. It's a head scratcher for me, guys, because it's not a good thing. Government's also looking at zoning law reforms and making things harder for real estate investors and development. I've got two things here that are going on in real time. We're seeing the Airbnb ban happen even in my city of Orlando, Florida, where they've made it ridiculously hard to put your property on Airbnb. You have to actually live in the property, and you're only able to Airbnb out a portion of that home. The extra unit you've got in the garage, you could put that on the Airbnb, but they're making it hard, and it's really ridiculous. I don't know why. It seems like everywhere things go blue, and Florida's mostly red, but Orange County, Florida's blue. They just want to mess with people who know how to make money. They don't like entrepreneurs, and they don't like you making money, so you got to get away from their systems. Also, right now in real time, like yesterday, did you hear about this communist guy that's likely to become the mayor of New York City? I try not to get too political, but this is going to directly drive real estate prices or the real estate market in New York City because they're going to implement rent control. And what you will see is that many people who are living in that state are going to be leaving, And I mention them because they'll probably be coming to Florida because Florida's doing very well. New York's not doing very well. Guys, these are kind of things that you need to look for regionally when you're thinking about where to invest your dollars. I'm not completely anti-government, just mostly anti-government, but I'm very, very aware of how quickly things can change. And when you vote in the wrong people, it seems to go poorly again and again. So you need to learn how to pivot, protect yourself, and invest in markets where ownership still matters. And remember this, most people complain. Investors adapt, baby, and then profit. Local ownership, guys, is the final frontier. And this is where it gets personal for me. I don't just flip houses. I flip lives. But you know whose lives don't get flipped? The keyboard warriors who just complain. Here's the truth. When someone goes from renter to owner, everything changes. They take care of the properties better. Kids start doing better in school. People finally feel like they're in control and they're building something. So here are some facts for you. The Federal Reserve states that the median net worth of an individual homeowner is nearly $400,000, while the median net worth of a renter is less than $12,000. And did you know that children of homeowners are 19% more likely to graduate from high school? And they're gonna have higher earnings as an adult. Guys, I think this is such an important issue for us as real estate investors, and if you are gonna become a real estate investor as well, wherever you go and wherever you're investing, you wanna leave that place off better than you found it. And one of the ways that you can always do that is by creating homeowners. For instance, we're buying some houses in Monroe, Louisiana, with the idea of selling those houses to the current renters and creating homeowners. So in the process of going through this package of homes, we went to the town and we went in all of these houses, and we see the difference between the people who have the idea that they can own a home and those that don't have that idea. It's night and day. So we went to house after house, and every time someone thought that they had a chance that they could own their own business or own their own home, we saw that the place looked better. We saw that they were up and about and doing things. And in those homes where they've always been a renter and they don't have even the inkling that there's a chance for them to become a homeowner, they're sleeping during the day. They're depressed. They don't see a way out. So you, as the real estate investor, on an individual level, can change lives. And I get it. It's a drop in the bucket. I know that we're not going to be able to affect major change, but I can make some money solving problems for sellers who are distressed. I can create homeowners from renters. Guys, these are things that you can be proud of. These are reasons to aspire, to become an entrepreneur, to become a real estate investor. It's the good that you can do. I think real estate investing sometimes gets a big hit on the chin and takes a bad rap because of some of the things we talked about in this video. These massive companies that are partnering with the big government, and they're buying up homes, and they're becoming a renter nation, and they're never going to let renters become homeowners. But that's not you. That's not us. We're a small business that likes to do partnerships, that likes to partner with you, by the way, and we want to create homeowners along the way. We also love it whenever somebody wants to become an entrepreneur, and we can be a small part of that story. So I say all the time, I want to be a part of your real estate investing story, but I'd also like to hear your story if you're just wanting to buy your first house. We'd love to be a part of that story as well. Hey guys, maybe you've heard this one. In the near future, you're going to own nothing and like it. Well, that's probably true for many, many of you. But if you don't want to be that, and guys, if you don't want to be that, subscribe to this channel because we don't want that for you. We believe in ownership. We believe in capitalism. We believe that it lifts people out of poverty, and we want to be a part of that story with you. And we've seen this time again in Puerto Rico and in Florida and markets that many people skip over. One house at a time can help people build real wealth and build up the community all at the same time. If you're in this for a quick flip, you're going to make money. But if you're in it to do more than that, and you want to create ownership for other people and build your own legacy, that's where the real profit is. Real estate investing is about to change forever. Wall Street is coming. Tech is evolving. Regulations are tightening. Debt's unraveling. But through all of it, the opportunity's never been greater. And you don't need a trust fund or even a financial degree. You need some knowledge that you can get on the internet. You need a community. We've got one that you can join for free called the Flip Flop Flipper Community. Links in the description. And you need a playbook and the courage to use it. Subscribe to the channel right now if you haven't already. And if you're serious about doing deals and getting around other people taking action and learning how to turn this chaos into a calling, join that free community I just talked about. And if you want the tools, the training, and even the CRM that we use in our own business every day, comment Apex and I'll send you the link. You can join our premium community. Guys, the future belongs to those who move fast. Let's go.